Many were called. From all walks of life attended sports centers up and down the country. Contenders were expected to cycle 1 kilometer, row 500 meters, and finally run 800 meters, and all against the clock. For some, the effort was just too great.
Yo, 5 weeks ago, scrolling through Instagram, and I'm gonna see a caption on a post that says, "We ready," with a little fire emoji, and there's 4 individuals listed right there. It's Nicole Crouch, Will Kane, Janie Garrett, and the person in which's Instagram profile I saw this, Zack George, the Danny Spiegel of male CrossFitters. Let me tell you why. I don't really know much, if anything, about Zack George. It's weird. There's this giant ocean in between the continent that I sit on and the one that he's associated with. He's over in the United Kingdom. Go to his Instagram profile right at the top, pinned. National champion of the United Kingdom. And then second, men's health, Zack George. It's like, wow, this is cool. And what do I mean? Because I'm sure a lot of you have a feeling about what you think I mean when I say the male Danny Spiegel. Well, what I mean is he has done everything that he can to parlay what he's got in the CrossFit ecosystem into bigger and better things. I mean, right there at the top, the United Kingdom national champion. They don't even really talk about that anymore in the CrossFit world. Not like that, at least. And then the second thing, men's health. That's cool. And it is cool, but it brings us to what we're talking about today. And the 4th post on there is a thing that says gladiators. And this was put up 17 hours ago. And it says right at the top, what a journey it's been. From a very overweight and self-conscious kid to a CrossFit Games athlete, men's health cover model, and now a gladiator. Gladiators is one of the UK's most iconic TV shows and is now being relaunched on the BBC. I have very mixed emotions right now, and it's hard to really enjoy the moment because this decision means I have to let down the rest of my CrossFit team. Unfortunately, these opportunities don't come around too often, and having recently become a dad, I have to think about my family and what's best for them. You're right, he does. What does the male Danny Spiegel do with the rest of the CrossFit team that he's been affiliated with? Well, the silverback gorilla, which, believe it or not, I think actually might be part of the reason I like him, because he knows how to promote himself. There was a time in my life where I was obsessed with Harambe the gorilla.
I'm here without Harambe, but he's still on my lonely mind.
You remember that guy? The Cincinnati Zoo? He tried to save that kid who fell into the water and they freaking murdered him. Can you believe it?
The incident has sparked public outrage. More than 78,000 people have signed an online petition demanding justice for the endangered gorilla.
They murdered a gorilla for doing the right thing. So what I did is I had a Mazda CX-5, and on the back of it I slapped a never forget sticker, and everyone knew that if they saw that sticker on the back of that Mazda, that was me. For the longest time, I had a Cincinnati Zoo debit card with Harambe's face on it. And whenever I would see Zack George on the internet, I'd be like, oh, he's cool. But is he really cool? Because he does this sort of stuff where he screws over these 3 people. You don't think he screwed them over? Well, here's what I do, because now I'm not making a video a day anymore, and I can reach out to people. Will Kane, 17, on Instagram. I asked him, hey man, sorry to hear about your team situation. Curious to hear your thoughts. He says, devastated, bro. I have lots of feelings right now. And then I asked, I get the sense that the team was in the dark until it was too late. And then he says, correct. From an outside source, it says that Will was asked to audition for the show and turned it down in favor of the team making a play for Madison because he's a fit dude. They're looking for people to go on this TV show, Gladiators, which, by the way, I don't think is a very cool show.
Is that what you think? You think?
But I also don't think the Titan Games is a show, which is where the actual Danny Spiegel went and made a name for herself. Picked up, what, 100 million thousand Instagram followers because of that? He'll probably pick up 110 million thousand followers in Instagram and is gonna do it, and it sounds much worse when one of your teammates had a similar opportunity and then puts it away. And then this post, the Gladiators post, I told you was put up 17 hours ago. And from what I understand, it wasn't until about 72 hours ago that the team of 3 other individuals had any idea what was going on. And at that point, it's too late. And it's not just those 3, it's also the 4 teammates in, what would it be, 31st place that now also get kicked out. So Zack George is selfishly kicking out 7 people from continuing on with their CrossFit Games season so he can go play frick.
The men had to bench press 40 kilograms 30 times, and the women 20 kilograms 20 times.
With a giant, wiffle ball bat on a platform, and I don't blame him. Didn't see that one coming, did ya? Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Now, don't get me wrong, The way that he went about it, it's so messed up. But there's something about the way that social media makes these people operate, and I try to think that I don't really look too far into it, but I don't know anything about anything, but he's gonna let the team know 72 hours ago, and he's gonna let the world know 17 hours ago. It'd be like if I spent the past couple of months trying to purchase some sort of company. Let's just say I was trying to buy Apple. You know, everyone knows Apple, the iPhone, and that's gonna be no easy task, Andrew. That's a giant company. There's a lot of stuff that's gotta be done in order for that to happen. And it finally happens, maybe 4 to 6 months away. Remember, this is impossible, but follow me here. And during those 4 to 6 months, I never told a peep of it to Alexis. And then month 6 happens, I finally acquired the company Apple, and 6 months and 1 day, I go, Alexis, guess what? I bought Apple. And she's like, oh, this is so cool. Now, this is a cool situation, right? And then 1 day later, I make a post on the internet, it's like, I am the new owner of Apple. And then you ask yourself, if the people that close to you are gonna find out that kind of information, and then you're gonna tell the entire world about it 1 day later, where are your priorities? Who are you as a human being? Did you buy Apple because it was something that was best for your life and maybe the ones closest to you? Or did you buy Apple so that you could tell the whole world that you were a freaking owner of a giant worldwide company? This is what social media does to people. Zack George, in my opinion, has never been that great of a CrossFitter. Very strong, very big, and that's one of those things where I was fighting with somebody the other day in a comment section about whether or not it was more impressive to have an unbroken Karen, 150 wall balls, 20 for the men, 14 for the women, or a 400-pound back squat. And then I went on to say that it was more impressive to have an unbroken Karen with a 30-pound wall ball than it is to have a 300-pound snatch. And the comment section erupts. And there's some dude, what's his name? Up into Adam, the hell's his last name? The Adam out of Canada. He's jacked as hell, but he goes, coming from somebody who has both, I'm gonna let you know that it's much harder to do the snatch. But the only thing that I can think of is the number of people who have an unbroken Karen with a 30-pound wall ball is 1, maybe 2. And the number of people who have a 300-pound snatch, way greater. But the difference is the 300-pound snatch looks way cooler on the internet, so everybody wants it. It's that little glimpse into that person's life that shows you how cool they are. And Zack George has that going for him. But can he do Karen unbroken 30-pound wall ball? Nope. Travis Mayer can, and Travis Mayer's been to the CrossFit Games, 50 times? Because he's fit, and he can do hard crap like that. And Zack George, I don't think can do hard crap like that. But he doesn't need to, because he's Danny Spiegeled himself his way onto the freaking Gladiators and screwed his entire team over. And do I blame him? Again, not really, because I've been there, I've done that, and the thing is, we don't really know the whole situation. Andrew, what do you mean you've been there and you've done that? In 2016, I was supposed to go on a team to the regionals. At that point in time, there were 6 individuals, 3 men, 3 women. 5 of us were rather set in stone. And then there was one other individual who was kinda just trying to make a push for it. It was the way that they were ever going to make it as a CrossFit athlete. And before every year's open, I would tell everybody in the affiliate, because there was a lot of competitive people. We would use the open as the tiebreaker, so make sure that you take the open rather seriously, and the higher you finish in the open, those spots are going to be the ones awarded to the people for the team. So if somebody finished 100th in the region and you finished 101st, the person who finished 100th is going to get that team spot, and it made it no drama, no problem, all easy. So 3 women, no problem. They were all set, no drama, cool. Myself, I finished 18th in the region. There's another male who finished 150th, and then there was a third male who finished 450th in the region. And that's where the spot should have been allotted to. But down in 1000th place was my business partner. And my business partner made every single excuse in the book about why they deserved that spot. And then of course you drop the I'm the affiliate owner card, I deserve the spot. And then you think, that's not fair. Okay. Well, it looks like the best option here is, rather than melt the entire ecosystem because you don't deserve that spot and telling this coach that you're just gonna take it because you said so, I'm gonna go individual, and it's gonna wipe out everybody else. Fortunately enough, there was another female on the team who got a backfill, so she finished 22nd. Her name is Natalie Sutter. So Natalie and I went to 2016 individual regionals. And the biggest difference between all of this is the fact that everyone was very well aware that if I were to have made it, that I would have taken that spot. And there was a portion of that time where I decided that I was going to go on the team. That wasn't until the card was dropped. The I'm gonna take that 6th spot because I own the affiliate. And it's like, screw that, I'm gonna go over here. And I wonder what, if any, possibility there is of that in the Zack George scenario. Because in my scenario, from what I understood, there was no drama, there were no hard feelings. Everyone goes, hey, if I were there, I would have done the exact same thing. The difference here is Will Kane had the opportunity to do the exact same thing. Will Kane turned down the Gladiators opportunity because he wanted to go compete with the other 3 people. Zack George, on the shortest notice possible, says, hey guys, see ya, and I'll let you know that, Zack, I just told you I don't know everything, but I've done more research than I typically do on videos like this. But it's a crying shame that I held you into the same regard as Harambe the Gorilla,
And he's still with me in my dreams.
whose freaking debit card I had, whose bumper sticker I had on my car for what, 4 years. How dare I was gonna say how dare you, but how dare I? Because you never claimed to say you were as good as
Harambe.
but you're not. You're no Harambe. You're just some Danny Spiegel, Instagram, fame-loving, not so fit but super freaking strong, training grain 2019 qualifying CrossFit person. Have a good time fighting each other with big old toothpicks on a balance beam. Andrew Hiller, out.
Please smash that like button, no one touches there.